called me, and I almost didn't want to tell him, because it's like this is his day, his moment. And I did scratch and claw my way through it and got mine, but it was so cool because I missed that moment, but I think it was almost better for him because he was with his friends. And
it is
he
sometimes better.
Yeah, it was just a neat deal. So it is though, going back to being able to have your family there. My dad, I think he got to the 25-yard line or 25 and a half shooting an old Model 12 and then, build a house and things were just different.
Yeah.
And so he kind of quit shooting, but he came back one year in probably 94, 95 and shot the Grant. He had never been to it. He flew in and shot the Grant. That was cool. To be able to go around and, like a seasoned veteran in it.
Absolutely.
And show him. And it just, I don't know. I probably should be more specific in a lot of the stuff that I know and my credentials or what I've done, but
it's not as important to you. It's more the experiences. It's more the journey. It's more that
camaraderie with your squad mates.
Yeah.
I mean,
but we don't want to belittle it because you have won a ton of stuff. We definitely want to focus on two things today. One, talking more about your ATA role. Two, talking about your personal shooting career. So since we're kind of going on this ATA
and his involvement with the Trapshooting Hall of Fame.
Well,
he is a trustee for that too. So we got multiple things we can discuss.
So let's get into the topics. With your ATA role as the trustee, what do you like that's going on in the ATA right now? What are you really treasure? Yeah. What are you excited about, and what's going well right now?
You said, did you say treasure or treasure? See, some reason I don't know what it is, but I always say treasure. I keep telling people it's a Western Nebraska accent.
Treasure.
Yeah. Attaboy.
See, I got you.
Yeah.
I'm an implant.
So let's get into the executive committee with.
Why are you smiling when you say that?
He loves to smile.
Everybody's always like, "Oh, the executive committee, it's a great thing," and you've done a lot of great things as president and stuff. But as the treasurer, so what does your job entail as far as just money?
We've got a significant amount of money, and I get asked, "How much do you need?" I don't know.
Yeah.
I have no idea. I just know that when we need it, I want to make sure it's available. We've got money we invest with 2 different investment companies. And actually it's kind of cool because at Spring Grand we're going to have an executive committee meeting down here, and both of those guys, I've never met them, but they're going to be here.
Oh, okay.
To learn about trapshooting.
Absolutely.
To see who we are, what makes us tick.
Yeah.
They're both great guys to work with. Our thing is, let's not be flamboyant. It's kind of cliche, but let's hit singles all day.
Yeah.
We'll take a double if the opportunity arises. But from Tom Berkey through Bob and into my time, nobody's had this outlandish, let's just try to make a killing in the market. It's not our money.
Yeah.
We just want, if we can hit in that 4, 5, 5.5% thing and just keep plodding away.
Oh yeah.
And just make sure that every year we try to grow. We did have a little, just a couple of years ago there was a little bit of a downturn in the market. Well, everybody had it.
Of course.
It was just a shake-up and some things happened.
Zach lost me some money.
I know about it.
Yeah.
Trust me. You're not telling me nothing I don't know.
Tonight, I guess we're having McDonald's.
We're okay now. Yeah. Market's flat right now.
Yeah, we're good.
We started, and we utilized an investment committee. And the investment committee is, it was Ed Waking, and I'm not sure who's on it this year. I don't remember how it all played out, but Ed, Michael Howell, who also serves with the Hall of Fame.
Yep.
And in Lynn, and I'll talk to the investment guys, and they'll come up with an idea, and honestly, a lot of times I'll go to Michael and just say, hey, what do you think, and get his opinion, because I want to make sure what we're doing is very clearly defined. And everybody knows. I don't want, if something happens to me, I don't want somebody to say, why did he do that?
Yeah.
I want other eyes on it.
And beneficial.
Yes.
It's got to be beneficial, and you got to know it's all above board. And I think I've known you long enough that you're an above board guy, and having you take care of it, you're going to handle it like it's your own. And at the end of the day, this is a business, and what a lot of people don't understand, and this is my personal opinion, not these guys, but my personal opinion, you have to have money to have a business, because you never know what's going to come up. And a lot of people say, with whatever you're doing, well, you could spend this or buy that. Well, that's not really good money handling skills. No. There's a reason why a lot of people win the lottery, or there's these NFL players or NBA players that get all these millions of dollars and they end up with nothing. It's because they're just not handling their money properly. And I think, you have to handle money properly to be able to set yourself up for the what ifs of the future of our sport, because, any one thing big could happen. It could require a lot of capital to keep this going.
And this isn't, everybody knows about it and heard about it, but, and I'll just touch base and you can give your opinion or
deny
not.
It or
deny. No, but, Sparta, the grounds are for sale. That's been brought up multiple times on social media stuff, like everybody freaking out. And I've always said to people, like, for some one person to purchase that,
it's a lot of juice.
Upkeep would break you. You'd have to be a billionaire. That's why the mowing would break a person.
In 2023 here, we have done 37 state shoots, 7 of the 11 satellite grants.
We're almost there.
So most of we now have, I think it's 241, 242 clubs across the country using our system.
If a club was wanting to use you, do you have like a base entry-level pricing or packages that you advertise, or is it based on the size of the shoots, Greg?
Our base level price is $0. Our complete package system, the whole enchilada, is $0.
$0 is a good price.
It's a good
Well,
price.
the premium members do not pay a pre-squad fee, ever.
Yeah.
For all year.
All year.
Can I buy a lifetime membership?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I was just going to say.
Gotta be your first lifetime
is there a 5-year?
I want to be number one. Zach,
We want lifetime memberships for me and Ricky.
If that does happen, is there a plan for us, or is that something that you even feel comfortable?
I guess I don't want to skate around it, but to go back when I was the president, I met with the director of the IDNR.
Yep.
And I did 2 years actually. And in those conversations, think how early we were into the Sparta thing.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
And
So that was what, 2010, 11?
4 years in. 4 years.
4 to 5 years, yeah.
And I asked them, I said, so what's your guys' long-term goal? And obviously it was to make money. They never intended on it losing money, and I don't know how it does. I assume it's a tough
I don't think it makes a lot of money.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a challenge, but I think it's amazing that we've got that facility. I get tired of people saying, well, we're in a gun control state and all. You know what? Southern Illinois is different than
they
Northern
are great
Illinois.
now. Absolutely.
And, just like Western Nebraska was better than Eastern Nebraska. Oh, no.
I live in the East.
Yeah.
You had to throw that fireball.
But what?
That's why I like you. You're just not afraid to slap this guy down a little bit.
But we're there.
Yeah.
And they took care of us. Missouri took care of us
Absolutely.
when we had a problem.
To go there during COVID. Yeah.
I think at the end of the day, it's going to work out wherever it goes. But in my understanding, it was 2026 was the original contract. When we started in 2006 with it, everyone knew, okay, we got at least 20 years here.
So is that still the current?
It is, but I know Len is working hard on that thing. Yeah. And, I know the efforts that he puts in, the people that he meets with. Everything that we're doing is trying to extend it.
Well,
everything that he's doing. Same with the Hall of Fame's got a longer term lease, a much longer term lease. But
we wouldn't have that if it wasn't for Bill and Leanne Martin.
Absolutely.
They donated $1 million.
Yep.
And people have said that, about this, that, and with the building being there. Listen, and I know there's a lot of, as you as executives, always get the heat. Okay, and I've heard it. We travel coast to coast.
Yep.
Some people, Lynn this and Lynn that. You know what? I've known Lynn Gibson back when he ran the KCTA, And I remember when he did the computers at MTA.
Yeah.
And he was the fastest option put out guy in the country. You broke a score when that event was done. Boom, the options were posted at a shoot where we had 1,000 shooters.
Yeah.
And so he understands and has grown through it. And I get it. No matter who's doing the job, there's always going to be people that don't like it.
You're damned if you do and you're damned if you
Yeah.
don't. It's one of those things where it's not really a thank job, and criticism's always going to come to you. I'm, at no level where you're at, but I'm at the MTA board director level, and it's like, these are people that want to see the association do better. They're trying the best they
You
can.
moved the shoot on top of Memorial Weekend.
I just
so
didn't
can't
want to
be
shoot
there.
against
You just
Ricky
didn't want me
anymore.
to be
I said,
there, folks.
Get rid of Ricky.
You know what?
Get off my 50s. Get the hell out.
There you go.
I don't need
Clean
him there.
that
He
up.
goes somewhere else.
Yeah.
But that being said, there's a lot of happier people that now that Ricky's not going to Missouri,
whatever.
it's great. And that they adopted him in Nevada. Bullard's talking about you changing residency. He's a little worried.
That's fine.
But that being said, it's everybody's coming to you with, well, why don't you guys do this? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do this? Or, why is it going on here? Why are you guys doing this? And everybody's going to come in with criticism, but nobody's going to come with support. Nobody's going to show up on Saturday when they're shoot-offs and say, hey, how can I help you guys? How can
I know
we
you guys want to get on the road.
Yeah,
too.
everybody wants to get on the road, right? Everybody wants to do the same thing. It's
I don't
just
leave till Sunday, so.
this is a tournament full-time trap shooter, okay?
But
We're not all full-timers.
Whatever.
But
Zach, criticism, when somebody's criticizing you, they're talking at least to you. It's an
Yeah.
opportunity. It's an opportunity to listen, to let them get it off their chest. The job that Len does is pretty thankless for what he goes through.
Oh, I bet.
I mean, that guy he's like a long-tailed cat in a rocking chair convention. I mean, and the other unsung guy, though, I mean, you look at the amount of staffing it takes to run that thing.
Oh, yeah.
And the guy that sits in his office, nobody sees him, is Jim Moody.
Tournament
Oh,
director.
man.
Unbelievable job.
Used to be head of the target setting committee.
Yes. And
Great guy.
They've got records from all the years going back since we've been in Sparta that shows the minute people took the line, everything all the way through. That detail is going to be hard to replicate someday.
Oh, absolutely.
It's
And
gonna be very
I
hard.
think as you guys as EC, no matter if you're VPs or committee member, being a treasurer and stuff, everybody's always looking at what are you doing? Why is this? Or that's my money. And I get that. Yeah, we've all paid the daily fees and this and that. And I know, hey, I like Sparta. It's drawn.
It's a
spread
great
out.
facility.
The camping facility's better than Vandalia. I do miss the nostalgia of Vandalia,
I do
though,
too.
because I really enjoyed Vandalia, Ohio. I mean, there was a lot of good things. You never shot there.
I shot there once.
Oh, that's right. You
I
were
shot
there
the
one
last year. I shot the last year, and I
And
enjoyed it. And
yeah.
it was definitely a different feel. But anywhere that's been anywhere for 100 years is going to feel that way. I guarantee you, if we have the Grand in Sparta for the next 80 years, people are going to start saying the nostalgia, and and they're going to start. So nostalgia is created with years and years and years of something happening. I mean, I already feel some nostalgia for it now after 2020. I mean, we're coming up on 2006.
From 06.
So I mean,
17 years,
it's
Zach.
definitely 17.
It's up to us to create those memories.
Absolutely.
Because, it's always easier to say the good old days. Well, you know what? In 10 years, this is the good old days. We're in it right now.
Yeah. Yep.
And so when it moved, I loved it in Vandalia. But when it moved, I completely embraced Sparta. I mean, we're so fortunate to have facilities like that. And look at Tucson Trap and Ski Club. Everybody, I love this club.
Yeah, it is a great club.
We're so blessed
52
to have.
traps.
Yeah.
5 bunkers, 16 ski fields, I think, and about 9 miles of sporting course.
And look at Wisconsin, Iowa, Minnesota, Vernal, all these clubs that are growing, and
PA.
The amount of people that are starting to go to it.
Cardinal Center's grown.
Yes.
PA. I mean, all these shoots.
Hello, Trap Talk listeners. Zach Nannini here, and I'd like to thank our show sponsor, Remington. And today, I would like to go into what shells I use when I'm training and when I'm shooting tournaments. First of all, we start with the Gun Club. This is a great shell. I shoot an 1145 ounce and 1/8, and this is what I shoot for singles and both shots of doubles. The only reason I don't shoot this in tournaments is because I like a little bit of a harder shot. a little bit of a harder break, but it works great, and it's the same speed as this STS shell. So this STS shell, a little bit harder shot, figure 8 wad column, smokes the targets a little bit harder. Also, I shoot for singles and doubles, both shots. And then when I go to the back fence and I want to put the smoke on them, I bring out the Nitro 27, ounce and 8, 7.5. It's a 1235 shell, blast the targets, works really well. I hope these shells work for you, and I want to thank Remington for supporting Trap Talk.
So one thing I didn't cover is I've been asked this by multiple people about Jeff. And
oh wow,
yeah,
that means one.
Yeah, no, multiples too, as Jerry said. Remember yesterday? But how many guns have you gotten from the ATA, Jeff?
Well, that's a really
Zero,
good
right?
question. Yes, I and it isn't because I was trying to make this super big point. You know, when you go through it, the chairs and stuff, the amount of time and the amount of expense is phenomenal.
People don't realize what it costs for our executive committee members to be on the board. They think everything's paid for. There's a lot of stuff paid for, but it is a huge expense. I know because I've been friends with about every EC member and have known the expenses. Everybody's supposed to get a presidential gun, and I remember when you were president 2 years, and you were like, I don't need a gun.
And that was a great thing for you to do, but I think people don't understand like what your value of your time is. Like, what could you be doing with all that time, especially if you have your own business or you're doing your own thing?
That's
I mean, it's
probably the burnout factor. You think of the past presidents that you don't see right after it.
Yep.
But for me, it was, if I was going to shoot, and the guys that I served with through the chairs at that time, if we were going to a shoot, there's no reimbursement. We're not gonna look for, I was already going there.
Exactly.
The ones though that, we would do a winter meeting, and now we do it on Zoom calls, but you would go to Sparta. Well, you got your airline ticket reimbursed. Which is fair in any business. I mean, you've been president, CEO of businesses. You understand there's always a cost to do business. So that is part of it, But I just wanted to get that out because I've had people from Nebraska, and I've had people when I've shot on the East Coast, they're like, oh yeah, the presidents, they always get these damn guns. And we had one that was there 2 years. I'm sure he got 2 guns. I said, he actually took 0. I'll bet on that. And I said, just name the amount.
You'll lose that bet.
Yeah, because I knew.
And the gun was, the year I served, it is a sticking point. Every year I go to the Grand and run into Betty and Dieter Krieghoff.
Yep.
You better do something about that gun. And because I paid the taxes on it, and it wasn't a priority.
No.
When I got on the EC, I didn't even know we got reimbursed for anything because it wasn't a priority.
You were looking to make better for the sport, not get something from it for doing it. And I think that's the difference.
We get nice shirts for the Grand, But no, it's just, I know more people that are like me.
Yeah.
Than the other way.
It 100% is, and I think if you're considering going into office or you're considering becoming a part of any kind of organization, do it from the right place. Don't do it from saying, I'm gonna go get free targets at my state shoot now, or I'm gonna I'm gonna go get a gas card and this is gonna help me get into shooting more. Like if you don't have the financial ability to be at these shoots anyway, and you don't have time to give to the sport, unfortunately, this is not something that we can milk on, because then it won't be here for the future generations. And you have to.
Is that why you have such a nice camping spot in Missouri?
It is. I mean,
I've heard this rumor. Is that? I'm just checking.
Nah, I pay for that spot, and I have to pay for 2 spots because they don't want me to use the one little one, so I had to have double spots. So Bob charges me double. I'm like, And then I got Dad coming now, so I got to pay for his spot because he's like, hey, you got that right? And I'm like, I got it, Dad.
Well,
you're a financial advisor.
That's
why Dad loves you.
He's like, hey, Dad, you got
protecting him.
I got to take care of Big Daddy.
So, okay, we've talked about your shooting. We've talked about your part of the EC. Now let's talk about you're a trustee for the Hall of Fame. Mm-hmm. So you wear multiple hats. So what got you into being trustee of the Hall of Fame?
It was after I'd served. There used to be a deal. I think there was something, I don't know if it was like a gentleman's agreement or whatever, but the president, the ex officio, after they're done with that year, a lot of times they go on to the Hall of Fame. And, that kind of went away. And actually I was at Tucson and Jim Bradford asked me to serve. And Jerry Williams went on at the same time. And You know, I know Jerry and I both felt, and everybody on Gary Hill came on,
Yep.
Bob Felber came on, and then I thought it was important. I, was really pushing to get Lynn Gibson on.
Yeah.
Because, it's not the ATA Hall of Fame, it's a trap.
It's the Trapshooting Hall of Fame.
Correct.
And people get that messed up quite
exactly.
often.
Yep.
But, because Lynn knows, he's been around the sport forever too, and it's that continuity of having it, and it worked out really well. And, it's weird because the first year that Bill and Leanne put up the money at the Grand,
Yep.
I didn't know Bill.
Yep.
And I'd seen him a couple of times, and I called him. I was at South Dakota State Shoot. I called Bill up and had a conversation with him, and it was just kind of, have you finalized this plan? Are you sure you don't want to look at, I just wanted to see this come off good for him. I don't want to see him or anybody else that is a sponsor get a black eye because we weren't prepared or we hadn't done our due diligence.
Yeah.
And, ended up Bill parked right beside me at the Grand, and, we kind of developed a friendship, and then he was, on me to go out to Vernal, and I'm the kind of guy, if I called him and he was bugging me to go, him and Krieghoff. I called Bill and said, why do you want me to go? And I'm not that shallow that I thought it was because it's on the EC, but I wanted to see what his thinking was, what he was thinking.
Yeah.
And I said, is this just because I'm on the EC and you're going to try to work me over? And he said, no, I'm pretty sure I can beat your ass. And okay.
That's when you were.
Now we're straight.
That was your first year at Vernal.
Yes, it was. Yep. And it was fun. I enjoyed it, and this one of the coolest stories in the Hall of Fame thing. I mean, again, it's all about all the people that have been there before us and the ones that are coming, and and I want to see us be able to feature trap shooters like golfers are.
Yeah.
So kids can come out and see it because you've earned your spot. You've earned your role. We want to see it used and utilized.
Hello, Trap Talk listeners. Today's episode is brought to you by Wenig Custom Gun Stocks.
That being said, a custom gun stock is going to elevate your game to get the same fit every single time.
And I can attest to that. I broke hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hundreds with my Wenig Custom Gun Stock.
I haven't broke hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, Rick, but I did break 100 from the 27 within 7 days of getting my stock, and broke 2 more that year and loved it.
Here, this is
Okay. You would take it or me?
We'd like to thank Wenig Custom Gun Stocks for supporting Trap Talk.
That being said, everyone knows.
Winners shoot Wenig.
Are we doing the import?
The year that Bill went into the Hall of Fame, I did his
2014.
induction, and he said, "Don't make me look bad." And I said, "Give me some information." Nope, not doing it. Thanks. So him and Leanne are going in. We were going out to shoot. We were going out to shoot doubles, and I swung by, and him and Leanne were getting ready to go, and I said, guys, this would be a heck of a time. If you're going to do something, this would be the time. Come back after doubles, we'll talk about it. After doubles, I pulled in, and Bill and Leanne said, we'll donate $1 million. And I never said a word. Obviously to them I did.
Yeah.
Gee, thanks.
Exactly.
Doesn't seem fitting, but
Yeah.
I might even give Bill a hug. I'm not sure, but there's, So we went to the...
A long hug.
Yeah, that's it. Yep. And a pass. We went to the Hall of Fame, and we did the deal, and I never said a word to anybody. And Bill, again, as we were walking in, he said, "Don't make me look bad."
Yeah.
And so I got up and did the induction, or my part of it, and I went to sit down, and I said, "Oh yeah, by the way," I went back up to the microphone. I said, "Just before I came up here, Bill and Leanne mentioned to me that they wanted to donate $1 million to the Hall of Fame." You could have heard a pin drop.
Oh yeah, I was there.
It was so cool.
Yep.
And there were several people that the way the stage was set, their head looked like Raven on The Exorcist, just pivoting around.
Like what?
Because it was such, but
It's
we've
a
had other
huge-
people like that. We've got the Bob Berg Trust. That, I think he came out of Missouri. Correct?
Missouri,
Yep.
absolutely.
Bill Hunter. I
Yeah.
mean, we've had some people that have been unbelievable with what they've
That's
done.
how Zach and I got our lifetime memberships to the ATA.
Bill Hunter.
100%.
Bill Hunter, I
Bill
won.
Hunter.
It was at the Grand American, won a trophy, and he gave it to the
Never forget that.
juniors and sub juniors, and it was so cool. And then Tyler, he won a lifetime at Vernal because of the same type of situation. An anonymous donor, a friend of Sean Hawley's, had donated membership to the high junior and sub junior, and they called, and well, Tyler happened to win. And I was like,
both
that is
life
so
members.
cool.
You can be delegates now.
I'm getting excited
I like
just hearing it.
shooting, and I try to stay. I mean, I'm in politics a little bit. I've helped out in certain things.
We got to dump
But-
into the podcast more, Ricky. We're detained.
We're in the
We're busy.
podcast.
We got to keep doing this.
This is our.
We're here to help
this
you.
Is our,
Yeah,
we're
there
gonna
you go.
help you.
Hey,
We're here
you
to
know
help
what?
you.
I told Zach, after I started listening to your guys' podcast, I've never seen one. I listen
Yeah,
to it when
listen
I'm
to it.
driving.
Yep.
And I called Zach and I said, I've been around this a lot. I'm excited to trap shoot.
Yeah.
Because I'm sitting here writing stuff down, trying to drive down the interstate, just little notes, because I want to think my way through a different process. When you brought up Sean Hawley, I gotta tell you this, and I've told Sean this. In Vandalia, it's the first time I'd ever seen Sean.
Yeah.
He was young,
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
young then. And I knew who he was. I knew he shot the right target first,
Yep.
on 4 and 5, 3, 4, and 5.
Yep.
And I was just being a smart aleck to a buddy of mine, and I knew Sean's mom was sitting on the bench.
Okay.
And I said, that kid would be pretty good if somebody taught him how to shoot
Shoot
doubles
the right
right.
way.
Oh, yeah, that's great.
She turned around and she said, I'll have you know, that's my son, Sean Hawley. And I said, I know. I said, I'm just kidding, And I've told Sean that before, and Sean's like, yep, that was my mom.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, she was ready.
She was going to defend me.
Claws in. Yeah, that's good.
And all of us have little bits and pieces of cool things. I remember in San Antonio, and Zach's probably not going to remember this, but I think you were a junior. We were in San Antonio for an executive committee meeting, and whenever you walk out of that, then you head towards the refreshment stand.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And people are like, "Well, what'd you guys screw up today?"
Yeah.
And I said, one thing we did is we talked about, and the executive committee does not have, the Hall of Fame is separate.
Yep.
But I just threw it out there. I said, we decided if you donate $10,000 and made 3 All-American teams, you would be inducted into the Hall of Fame, eligible to go into the Hall of Fame. And you were sitting there, Dave Kelly was sitting there, Zach was there, and everybody laughed. And Zach was young and a little naive, and he goes, being on the sub-junior or junior team, does that count?
Does that count? Hey, I'm working my way up. I already said I get this money together.
You are aspiring to greatness. You're coming.
What do you always say? I'm Italian.
I'm Italian. Hey, we live a good life.
Well, and you caught a lot of grief over that from Bullard was probably there too, with knowing
Yeah.
how to cast the clowns, But
Now it's just a two-way street with the grief. We're just always just doing
Yeah.
this to each other.
Well,
It is what it
in
is.
this podcast, we originally started this, as we said many times, just to try to get info out to shooters and and enjoy it. And it's been fun. Zach, this was
history.
mainly Zach's idea originally. He's like, hey, I want you to be the first one. It's like, all right, so we did it. And then he's like, hey,
That works.
This would be
We're onto
good.
something.
We need to,
Let's
and
do
I was
this.
like, I sat down, him and I, and my wife Jody. We talked about it a little bit, and I was like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, the
it's-
chemistry. I mean, I've known Rick for a long time, but the chemistry just flowed so natural in that first episode. I'm like, we need Ricky. I mean, he brings so much to the table. He's got the experience, the knowledge. He knows everybody. Everybody's lovable. I mean, he usually shoots pretty good. But
before you guys, there's 2 guys called Abbott and Costello. You probably don't remember.
Every once in a while, I give him
Who's on first? We're here. 2's on post 1. Yeah.
I mean, we get on each other's nerves every once in a while, but we love each other.
Exactly.
That's what
We enjoy this sport, and this is what I've done all my life. 36 years been shooting. Did I ever think I'd make a career out of just no? And no one really makes a career just out of shooting. I'm fortunate that I've got a lot of great sponsors, Number one, my wife. If without Jody, I would not be able to be. I've been on the road now 20 some days shooting, and I was fortunate to see Tyler. Had to fly to a Fiocchi team meeting, so he come along because he's on Team Fiocchi and got to see him, but haven't seen Mama in 20 some days. You know, we're down here. She was going to try to fly, and she's got to fly to go work, and that's just part of life. But I always say, if you don't have a good person behind you, can't do what you love.
100%.
As you know. Shoot the first one and then loop to the second one and drive through it. Oh! Just like that.
Great shot. Shot 2. Great shot.
We're just trying to help every shooter out there, no matter if you're an expert or a beginner, and this product will take your game to the next level.
Works for any of the disciplines. As long as it can find a clay in the image, it will figure out how it's moving and how that shot pattern is going.
Yeah. Now in that shot, I intentionally shot high, which is most people do.
That's what you did.
Yep. So outside the pattern. Now what's it say for the correction of that?
1 foot.
Yep, that'd be correct. Now in this one, I will smoke the target.
If people want to purchase this unit, what's the best way to do it? I mean, is it through your guys' website? Is there a phone number to call, or what's that situation?
Yeah, go to our website, takeaimtech.com, and an online store. We have inventory. We'll ship usually within 24 hours.
Huge thank you to Jim and Bob at Take Aim Tech for supporting Trap Talk.
10 years ago.
Yeah.
I got married here.
Yeah,
Courtney and
I
I
know.
got married at Star Pass, and we were trying to,
Drink a lot of
two of
drinks
our
in
boys, my son and her oldest son, they played hockey together. That's how we met.
Yep.
And we were trying to figure out where we wanted to get married at, and it's like, well, we know where all of our friends are going to be, and so we had a wedding at Star Pass, and our 10th anniversary was November 1st, and she had to fly to Minneapolis for a meeting, so.
So it's on her.
So you had to stay here. You were here for it.
So we can throw Courtney under the bus.
Yeah.
It was her fault for missing the anniversary.
These don't come out right away, right?
No, we got some time. We got some time.
We can forewarn her a little
And
bit.
you can edit if you
We can edit. We can cut it out if we have to.
We love you, Courtney.
All right. Yep. Absolutely.
So, I mean, we covered a lot. This has been
Yep.
a great episode. I know we could definitely have you on again and talk more
absolutely.
about your shooting, more about the ATA, more about the Hall of Fame and all these other things. But before we get out of here, is there anyone you'd like to thank? Is there any last words or messages you'd like to part with?
You know, I never want to get specific in a deal like this because you're going to forget somebody and make them mad.
Yeah, exactly.
Or be embarrassed. But again, it's kind of cliche or corny, but really the sport is about all the people that are participating, the people that were before us, the people we don't know that are coming, and the ones that are here right now. That's why I do it, because I love being around like-minded people.
Yep.
Krieghoff has always taken care of me since, I switched because I was at Bill Lanzaldi's funeral, and Bill said, "Do you shoot a Krieghoff?" And I said, "Nope, I don't. I shoot a P gun." And why don't you shoot one of ours? I said, yeah, might try that. And I bought a gun.
Yep.
And they take care of me.
Dieter and Betty are
super
awesome,
neat people.
you know.
And it's just
very
Krieghoff
nice
family.
people.
Yeah, and
And they take care of all of us.
Yeah,
I mean,
all three
this
of
is all
us.
three to take care of. So thanks, Krieghoff family.
Yes, that's right. Yep. Keep those cards and letters coming. And the people I've served with, the first time I was on the EC, and the people I'm with now, the Hall of Fame trustees, I love the sport. And
It shows.
my wife Courtney, that reinvigorated. The first time anybody met her was in Tucson.
I remember doing a lesson with her.
Yep,
Like,
that's
Courtney,
right.
no, you got to lean forward.
Yep.
The guns, whoa.
Yeah, I remember we were she's left-handed, left-eye dominant.
Yep.
She was right-handed.
Yep.
And we were flying down here for one of the satellite grands, and we're on the plane, and I said, and we're doing the eye test. I don't know what people think when us trap shooters are on the plane. Things are
Different.
different. Yeah, but I said, "Do you do anything left-handed?" She goes, "Well, I put on makeup left-handed." I didn't even know that was a deal, right or left. But, And I said, "Well, you're a left-handed trap shooter now." There goes the Wenig stock out.
Yep.
And pretty soon, Wenig's building a new stock for her.
Yeah.
And then she got elected to CHS's board of directors, which CHS is the largest agricultural company cooperative in the world.
Yeah.
And she's the first woman director ever on it. So she's very busy traveling and doing stuff. She's in DC quite a bit. So Wenig has, for like the last 5 years, has a blank paid for.
Waiting.
And
for
every
Courtney.
once in a while they blow the dust off it and call and say, do you want this on anything else? And yeah. So no, my kids, my dad, everybody.
Yep.
You know, the squad I usually shoot with and hang out with.
All the friends, all the family.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Well,
It's a big world.
It's been great having you on. It's a pleasure. We love that you listen to the show. We love the feedback, so keep it coming to us. We would like to thank our show sponsors, Remington, Wenig. We're Wenig'd out. Shot Tracker, they're going to be on with us for season 2, which is awesome. RM Shooting Clinics. You can't forget this guy. He's staying really busy. I like to see
every
it.
day.
And
Morning, teaching lessons this morning before the events.
He is
in
working
between events.
You've got him working so hard, guys. He's out there before events and after events now, so he's starting to get really booked. It's hard to get his time, but I mean, he makes it work.
His time's more available when he shoots a 21 and a handicap. I can see him out there doing a few more lessons.
Couple openings just came up.
That's right.
Zach's getting a lesson. Don't worry.
I could use it. Trust me.
I'm sorry about that. I didn't mean to say that.
It's okay. It's okay. I take it. It's all good. And if you need a financial guy, Zach Danini here. I know we got the finance guy for the ATA, but I'm the finance guy for you. So give me a call. Right. I hope you're doing well. Thanks for checking in and listen to us on this Friday, and we'll see you soon.
And the Trap Talk podcast is brought to you in part by
RM Shooting Clinics. Have Ricky take your game to the next level. If you want to shoot hundreds, give Ricky a call today. Zach Danini Financial. We believe in putting people first.